Hello there, and welcome to the Star Wars Guys YouTube channel where the Force is family. I am Master Paul, just got out of the shower, that's why we're a little bit late tonight. But anyways, we are here, and we're going to have a good time. So, Phil McCracken, of course, says, hashtag Phil McCash trending worldwide, hashtag Justice for Star Trek V, and hashtag why does X-Wing have a tramp stamp and what does it say? I'm not even going to answer that. But Justice for Star Trek V, you know I got to do it. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to do a different one this time.
I know this ship like the back of my hand.
Just to change it up, do something different. So we're waiting on Michael and Jonathan to pop in here. They're probably getting their stuff set up now. But we got a couple different things we're going to talk about. So first off, we're going to be talking about Sonic 2 again, because Michael just saw it for the first time, and he is going to come on here and share his thoughts. And then the second thing we're going to talk about, and this is Michael brought my attention to it. Apparently, Jedi Fallen Order 2 has a title, and we're going to get into that. But anyways, before we do that, I was requested something. So, Phil, this is by your request. I actually, you know what? No, I take that back. We're gonna wait. I was about to show you how I download mods to Skyrim, but we're gonna hold off on that for now. All right, so let's see. We are going to go ahead and we'll get Michael and John caught up as soon as they get in here. But let's go ahead and get into... Wait, actually, hold on. Let me share out the link real quick. It says no problem. Okay. Let me just make sure this is shared out on Facebook and all that. All right, so everything is shared out now. But anyways, we're going to go ahead. Phil McCracken says, watching Godzilla while in your stream chat. Awesome. As I keep saying on any of the gaming streams and such, the only Godzilla that I know of is Matthew Broderick's Godzilla, and I know that is not only the worst Godzilla movie, but one of the worst movies of all time. So let's go ahead, and we'll get Michael and Jonathan caught up when they get here, but let's go ahead and look at this article talking about Jedi Fallen Order 2. So this is coming from the Direct. And it says, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2, new title reportedly revealed. So let's go ahead and look through this. It says Star Wars has... Oh, and by the way, this was posted 3 days ago. Star Wars has an incredible roster of games through the years, and one that is quickly shot to the top of the pile is 2019 Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The single-player story-driven game explores the aftermath of the events of Revenge of the Sith, where the Empire is at the height of its powers, chronicling Cal Kestis' journey after the days of the Republic have passed. After its critical success and positive fan reception, seriously, it is a good game. Even if you're not a big fan of Disney Star Wars, I would highly recommend this game. Talks of a sequel have gained steam. Electronic Arts, or EA, CEO Andrew Wilson confirmed that Fallen Order is the first title in an entirely new franchise, essentially saying there's more to come. The studio eventually confirmed that a Jedi Fallen Order sequel is in development, with game director Stig Asmussen, I think I said that right, leading production. To the dismay of some, though, the Fallen Order sequel will only be available on current-gen consoles, meaning that PlayStation 4 and Xbox One owners may miss out. Other evidence suggests that the game would be launching in early 2023, meaning that players still have a little bit longer to wait before they get to follow up on Cal's battle against the Inquisitors. Now an important update about the game has been revealed. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2 has a rumored title. On a recent Twitch stream, Jedi gaming insider Jeff Grubb asked viewers to guess the new title for the sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. One Twitch user, Colonel Sanders 21, guessed the title as Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which Grubb went on to confirm as being correct. Back in January, Jeff Grubb reported that Jedi Fallen Order will have its sequel properly revealed before this year's E3, with this month being the approximate window, which, as a side note, this month is Star Wars Celebration. So if they were going to do it, they would do it during that. By the way, hello to Kev L. Thank you for joining us. Fallen Order sequel explores Empire's Jedi hunt. Based on the rumored title, it seems that the sequel to Fallen Order will explore more of the Empire's hunt for the remaining Jedi Knights after Order 66. Cal Kestis will likely serve as the protagonist once again, but he clearly has a target on his back, especially now that Darth Vader knows he's alive. The basic premise of the first Fallen Order is to find a holocron that contains the locations of all remaining Force-sensitive children in order to revive the Jedi Order. Given that he destroys the holocron at the end of the first game, there are still a bunch of Force-sensitive children somewhere in the galaxy waiting to be discovered. Cal, Ser, and Grease, and I'm going to mention Marin too, agreed to let the children find their own destinies. It's possible that a potential threat could see Cal's mission turning back to find the children, particularly given the sequel's new title, Survivor. Let me get a quick drink. Based on the title, the term Survivor could also be hinting at other notable Jedi survivors from the Star Wars universe, like Obi-Wan or even Ahsoka could appear, potentially as a key ally to Cal's quest to restore hope across the galaxy. And real quick, it's funny that they say that because we were last night on Echo Base Network, Coach and Nick and Matt Rissman were talking a little bit about that, and they had floated the possibility that not only could Obi-Wan appear in Jedi Survivor, but perhaps even be the main playable character. Now, frankly, I don't see that happening. I think the Jedi Fallen Order series is about Cal Kestis and Cal Kestis only, as far as who you play as. But could Obi-Wan make an appearance? Yes. And real quick, I'm going to bring in Epic John. How are you?
I'm good.
All right. Do you know where Michael is?
No.
Okay. Well, hopefully he pops in at some point, because this stream is pretty dependent on him. But anyways, what I'm talking about right now is that Jedi Fallen Order, which you have seen me play multiple times over here,
Yes.
the sequel now has an official title. It's called Star Wars Jedi Survivor. What do you think of that title?
Well, Cal can't die.
What?
Cal can't die if it's going to be called Jedi Survivor.
But that's also assuming that Cal is the survivor the title's talking about. It could be someone else, but we don't know yet. Real quick, hello to JetSparks373, who says, I think Cal became a true Jedi following the will of the Force. Yes, you're absolutely right. He did. Getting back to the article. Based on the title, the term survivor, I already read that. Considering that the Jedi Purge is still happening, possible antagonists for the game are other members of the Inquisitors, but their prominence in the last game may prompt developer Respawn Entertainment to switch things up. Darth Vader is another is another option, especially after his unfinished business with Cal during the first game. Or the sequel could delve into the mystic side of the Force by revisiting the Night Sisters. Again, going back to Marin. Obi-Wan
Didn't
can
Cal just run away from Darth Vader?
pretty much. I mean, that's really all that the game allows you to do. Kevel says a new Whammon character. I don't know yet. It's still very early. We haven't even seen a trailer to this game yet. Could that happen? Yes. But don't jump the gun too soon on pointing out any negatives. Is at least what I try to do. You do as you will. Obi-Wan Kenobi is set roughly around the same time of Fallen Order, thus allowing for the crossover opportunities. A key location like Fortress Inquisitorius was already featured in the show's trailer, and this could be the first hint that a crossover may happen. And Yvette says, try this if your dog needs his glands expressed. But anyways, so yeah, that is everything that we know so far for Jedi Fallen Order 2. That it's going to be called Jedi Survivor. It's likely not going to come out on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. And it's possible it could cross over with Kenobi. So, John, you have not yet played Jedi Fallen Order, but of what you've seen me play, are you in any way interested in this game?
Yes, probably just because it's Star Wars related and good Star Wars at that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But if I'm not eager to get a PS4 or Xbox One now, I'm not going to be eager to get a PS5 or an Xbox Series X.
Which are completely out of stock right now.
Still. Okay, I'm going to make sure that my profile picture is on center because it is bugging me.
Okay. But anyways, yes. Yeah, that's pretty much it as far as Jedi Fallen Order 2 coming out soon. Hopefully the game is good, and that is a good Star Wars story also. Let me text Michael real quick, see where he is.
There. Perfectly balanced.
Don't you say it. I'll boot you from the stream if you say it. My hand is hovering over the button, and you know I'll do it. That's what I thought. As all things should be. There, I finished it. All right, so the other thing that I wanted to talk with you guys about tonight is, again, we're gonna revisit Sonic 2. Now, admittedly, the biggest reason why we're revisiting it is because this past Thursday, Michael saw it for the first time, and John and I, of course, went to go see it with him. And we're waiting on Michael to get in here while so that he can give his thoughts on it. But actually, before we do that, while we're waiting on Michael, let's go over something that you told me about, some Nintendo news.
Is it the Kirby thing that I texted you about?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that article up, and I know this is kind of going to this delving into Master Paul's game room territory here, but you know what? We're going to cover it now. So let me pull this article up.
Because we missed the part where that was our problem.
Yeah. Now, this is from digitaltrends.com. This may not be the exact article you sent me, but it's about the same thing.
I sent you a YouTube link for the trailer.
Okay. We'll watch the trailer here in just a moment. So this says Kirby 64 is Nintendo Switch Online's next N64 edition. And this was posted 2 days ago. Nintendo is giving fans of Kirby's latest 3D adventure, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which I still have not get and I need to.
Neither have I, but I want to.
Yeah, the chance to go back in time and experience his first time taking a third-dimensional adventure. The next Nintendo 64 title hitting Nintendo Switch Online's expansion pack is Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards, and it's coming May 20th, so 5 days from now, actually.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch Online is Nintendo's membership that allows players to not only play online, but gives access to tons of retro titles from the Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Nintendo consoles. The expansion pack brings Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis titles to the membership at an extra price. This add-on costs more, but is becoming a great value considering how much Nintendo has added to it, including all of Mario Kart 8 DLCs, Deluxe DLC, and Splatoon 2's Octo expansion.
Which, in my opinion, is stupid that they added that because it's been out for 4 years, and pretty much anybody who has wanted it has gotten it.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of screwed us over there.
Yeah, not to mention Splatoon 3 is coming soon, so at this point, why bother?
Yeah, I mean, you can just YouTube all the lore, which there is a good amount, but it's also locked behind a very difficult campaign.
Yep. An iconic platformer featuring one of the Kirby's creepiest final bosses. Do you happen to know who that final boss is, John?
Nope.
Neither do I.
I barely played it, but I will.
Me too. Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards is the latest title coming to the membership. It joins the likes of other available Nintendo 64 games like The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, that one's on there now too, Banjo-Kazooie, Star Fox 64, Paper Mario, Super Mario 64, The GOAT, and more. According to an official financial results briefing interview with Nintendo Representative Director and President Shintaro Furukawa and Executive Officer Hajime Murakami, I think I said that right, Nintendo Switch Online's expansion pack is doing especially well with US subscribers. The interview confirmed that due to positive reception, it plans to continue expanding the service. This continued growth may even mean more perks other than added games, similar to what Xbox does with Game Pass. Nintendo Switch Online expansion members can witness everyone's favorite Pink Puffball's first 3D title via the Switch on May 20th. So, with that, let's go ahead and look at this. This is the trailer. All right, and there you have it. So that was my first time seeing that trailer, by the way.
So you didn't watch it when I
No,
sent it to you?
I admittedly I didn't.
Oh well. Hey, content.
You're right. So, admittedly, I'm not interested in this game. After seeing that trailer, the gameplay looks kind of janky to me. And the power-ups look weird too. Like it's not the classic, copy ability power-ups. It's something weirder.
I think it's combos. Like you can have two of the same thing, but I don't remember because I barely played that game.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give it a shot just to see for sure, but I'm not impressed by what I've seen.
But recently, so far as Kirby, I've been playing the original Kirby Superstar for the SNES on my
And I know
school
you, and I
Chromebook.
know, and I know you have Superstar Ultra on that 3DS you got from me.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, what's the differences between that and the original?
Slightly better graphics. The Revenge of the King, Meta Nightmare Ultra, and True Arena, and Helper to Hero, all that's different.
Okay,
And it's harder to see. I'm
understandable,
sort of joking with that.
of course. Yeah, I played the heck out of Superstar Ultra, and I love that game.
Yeah. Though
Like,
recently I beat the original arena from Superstar,
oh,
and that was
nice.
no easy task.
I believe it. I've probably beaten it once. Same with True Arena. Same with the Helper to Hero thing.
I I would complete Superstar Ultra, but I don't want to deal with Helper to Hero. I just
Why?
want to
It's
do it
easy.
one time.
Just pick the rock type.
Well, in order for a true completion, in my opinion, you would have to do it with every single one.
Okay.
And that's not something I want to do.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. But you've beaten it with just one of them, right?
I think I beat it with either hammer or sword.
And does your little percent at the very beginning say 100%?
No.
What does it say? 93?
Well, I think I reset my file because the most it's on is Great Cave.
Hmm.
And that's all.
Understandable. All
Which I
right.
might just reset my file again so I can just completely do it from scratch if I do decide to do it.
I gotcha. All right. So we have still not heard from Michael. I texted him and it just says delivered. He ain't even heard it.
Hey, at
Do you
least he
know?
isn't leaving us on red.
True. Do you know if like mom and dad are doing something with him?
No, they're away right now.
And Michael didn't go with him.
No.
Maybe and you're right next to the shower. You don't hear it?
No.
Hmm.
Well, I am in the living room right now. Upstairs.
Oh, okay. Maybe Michael went to bed early.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Well,
Well,
here's a question.
okay.
Who do you think should voice act Shadow in Sonic 3?
This is gonna. Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know.
Honestly, I
I
think I have three candidates. One is the original voice actor from Sonic Adventure 2. They could bring him back.
He's probably really old, though.
Maybe.
Or they could use whoever voiced him in Sonic X, the English version.
Or they could use the guy who played Kylo Ren.
Adam Driver?
Yeah. Give him an actually good role.
Maybe. No, I can't see it. I can't see it. John, will you do me a favor real quick? Pop off of here and go down and see if Michael's in his room, see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll find something else we'll find some way to keep busy while you're gone, okay?
See ya.
All right, see ya.
I'm not gonna pop off, I'm just gonna mute.
Yeah, just mute yourself. All right, so let's see. This is something interesting. So I saw this kind of, well, actually, let's talk about this. The fact that tomorrow, getting back to Star Wars, the fact that tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Attack of the Clones. And I saw this article scroll across my Facebook the other day, and I figure we'll take a look at it. This is on StarWars.com, and it says, Roel Robles on the design origins of Count Dooku's unique lightsaber hilt. Now, I've said multiple times on this channel, as far as single-bladed lightsabers go, Count Dooku has my favorite design. In fact, if this was planned out a little bit better, I'd have my replica over here. But right now it's sitting all the way over there, and I'm not going to get up and get it right now. But safe to say, I love the design of Count Dooku's hilt. Hello, by the way, to Leia Rose. Thanks for joining. So this will be an interesting read. I have not read this before, so this is brand new to me also. So that being said, let's get it. The middle chapter of the prequel trilogy, Star Wars Attack of the Clones, arrived May 16th, 2002. To celebrate the movie's 20th anniversary, StarWars.com presents Clones at 20, a special series of interviews, editorials, and more. I promise I'm not, well, I don't know for sure, but I hope I'm not dyslexic. Movie audiences first met the villainous Count Dooku, played by Christopher Lee, rest in peace, 20 years ago in Star Wars Attack of the Clones. John, are you back? John? John, can you hear me? He's probably getting his headphones put back on or something.
Oh, crap. Did I just...
All I heard was a bunch of this. Sorry for anyone's ears, by the way, if that bothered you.
Did I unmute by accident?
You did, but are you back?
Yeah.
So what's Michael up to?
He didn't tell me. Well, I didn't ask, but he said he'd be on shortly.
Okay, good. We're still good then. So anyways, just to get you caught up, I'm looking at another article, this time from StarWars.com, saying the concept artist Ro Robles on the design origins of Count Dooku's lightsaber hilt, which I'm actually going to grab my Dooku hilt now real quick. I didn't want to by myself, but now that you're here, I will. So be right back.
What is that profile picture?
Long story.
Hey, chat, y'all should rickroll him when you get back. Just saying.
Basically, John, I drew this. I basically edited a picture of myself to make it look like I had been assimilated by the Borg from Star Trek Next Generation. Here, I'll change it. Let's go with this one. And you can thank Lord Crit for that one. But anyways, as I said, I went and got it, but for those, in case y'all need a reminder, This is Count Dooku's lightsaber, and this is my replica from Saberforge. At least I think I got this secondhand. But this is my favorite canon single blade design. It is a bit of an acquired taste, the curved hilt, but it is very comfortable to hold both one-handed and two-handed. It's meant to be wielded with a one-handed, like a fencing sort of thing, but you can do two-handed with it if you wanted. I don't have a blade attached to it right now, so I'm not going to turn it on, but this, as I said, is one of my favorite designs, and I think it's one of yours too, isn't it, John?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, oh, Leia Rose says, "Oh my goodness, that's cool, Paul. Thank you." Like I said, I got this from Saberforge, and they do still sell them, although they do get pretty expensive. This I got as a gift from one of my coworkers, but I think if you were to get one brand new with like top of the line electronics in it, it's like I think north of $500. But anyways, getting back to what I said, starting over, movie audiences first met the villainous Count Dooku, played by Christopher Lee, rest in peace, 20 years ago in Star Wars Attack of the Clones. This Jedi turned Sith was not only the leader of the growing separatist movement, but one of the most feared swordsmen in the galaxy. In the novelization of Attack of the Clones, written by R.A. Salvatore, Dooku's fighting style is described as balanced and arcane, more front and back, thrust and riposte than the typical circular movements currently employed by most of the Jedi. The character's imposing abilities were matched by a distinctive curved lightsaber hilt, this one right here, that caught the attention of many fans. It was thanks in part to a budding young concept artist on the Attack of the Clones crew that this weapon became so iconic. "I'd always loved drawing since I was a kid," said Roel Robles. I hope I said that right. An art department assistant on Attack of the Clones who immigrated with his family from the Philippines to the United States at 4 years old. "My parents wanted me to pursue a career in business, but I never stopped wanting to be an artist." As Star Wars re-entered popular culture in the 1990s, with new books, comics, and theatrical re-releases, the longtime fan Robles decided to follow his dream. He found Lucasfilm in the Yellow Pages and called them. Without a background in film or formal art training, he found a job in the mailroom at Skywalker Ranch. He said, "I thought it would be a good way to get my foot in the door. If I could find my way into the art department within a year, that would be great. If not, I'd try something else." Let me see real quick. All right. As Robles worked delivering letters and parcels to Lucasfilm staff at the ranch, he also illustrated posters and graphics for company events or parties. "Being in the mailroom, I got to meet many different people, including the concept artists and producer Rick McCallum," he says. After 6 months, McCallum recruited him as an art assistant working with the team inside the main house. "I was able to live my dream," he said. Robles described the universe as a Star Wars university. Designers like Doug Chang, Ian McCaig, and Ed Natividad, I hope I said that right, acted as mentors to the aspiring concept artist. He was able to dabble in a little bit of everything, including drawing, digital painting, and model making. Robles even helped editor and sound designer Ben Burt shoot animatronics using the original Landspeeder prop from Star Wars A New Hope as a stand-in. "I had worked hard as a valet at the Hyatt, whatever, and was used to park cars," Robles adds. "So I hopped into the Landspeeder and maneuvered it around." And by the way, here's a sample, by the way, of his sword collection that he has in real life from things from the Philippines, China, and Japan. And I'll bring this up a little bit bigger. Can y'all still see it? Okay, good. Lero says, "Wow," and hello, by the way, to Charlie. I really like this sort of rounded design in the middle and the katana to the far left. What would you pick out of this collection here, John?
Personally, I would pick the one second to the bottom.
Okay, second to the bottom. Yeah, that's a pretty cool design too. So yeah, he has a great sword collection. Among the hundreds, if not thousands, of designs needs for Episode 2 was Count Dooku's lightsaber hilt. Robles saw the opportunity to help influence a new approach to the familiar weapon. We were trying to come up with a different lightsaber design, he recalls. I do Filipino martial arts, which includes fighting with different sticks and knives. I had a collection of Filipino and other Asian fighting swords. So when we were doing Dooku's hilt, I brought in my collection for everyone to see. And then here's something really cool. A picture of his Filipino sword up here at the top, and the design of the hilt and how it translates to Dooku's hilt. So what do you think about that, John? It's like the back portion of the hilt is curved and it kind of flanges out a little bit, like this section here. See, you notice that too?
Mm-hmm.
That is really cool. Now, I'm sure that looks like a one-handed design, so I'm sure you're not holding it, down there where it's curved. At least I don't think so. But that is still really fascinating that played a part in it. One of Robles' favorite pieces was a traditional Filipino weapon known as a barong, which sported a curved wooden handle and a short but hefty blade. George Lucas came in to review all the swords, he remembers, and he actually chose the barong, which is what I was hoping for. Coincidentally, Dermot Power had already been working on the concept of a curved lightsaber hilt, which, by the way, some of this work would evolve into the character Ventress and her sabers. We wanted to work together to refine and finesse it to make it the way George wanted. In addition, Robles suggested an idea for a female Jedi character who was blind. I feel like since Jedi were one with the Force, you wouldn't really need to use your eyes, but George didn't go for it at the time. Although, we know now that the idea of a blind Jedi has now been used a couple different times. For example, Kanan Jarrus, Season 3 and 4 Rebels, he's blind because he got blinded by his duel with Darth Maul at the season finale. In Legends canon, I can't remember what the species is, but there's an entire species of humanoids that are pretty much just about human, except the fact that they are born blind. And they all wear some form of covering on their eyes and rely on the Force to even see.
Also, in Rogue One, there's that one guy who's all like, I'm one with the Force is with me.
He's not a Jedi. He believes
he's not a Jedi.
He believes in the Force, and I do believe to a degree he is Force sensitive, but he's not a Jedi. And then, of course, the other example that I can think of is Rom Koda from the Force Unleashed games. So scrolling down more, for Robles... Whoa, you okay?
Yeah. Just
okay.
Scratchy throat.
All right. For Robles, the work on Dooku's saber was not only a highlight of Attack of the Clones, but a special opportunity to involve my Filipino culture in my work, he says. It's really cool to say that Count Dooku's lightsaber was inspired by this Filipino sword. He also performed martial arts demonstrations for the art department. We tried different weapons like single sword, double swords, sword and knife, double knives, and eskrima sticks using a whipping motion just to show the possible range of how Jedi might fight, he explains. Since then, there's been an abundance of Filipino martial arts in movies. After Attack of the Clones, Robles continued his budding career. I almost said buttering career. Like, hey, I got a career buttering your bread at restaurants. That's not what happened, obviously. Robles continued his budding art career with new companies and has found success in film, video games, and other projects. He even returned to Skywalker Ranch in 2014 to work with Skywalker Sound on his short film, Usagi Yojimbo, I think that's right, The Last Request. Roble still looks back at his days with Lucasfilm as an especially meaningful time. Skywalker Ranch was a really creative campus, and I'm so glad to have had the chance to work there, he reflects. When I was with the art department on Star Wars, I felt that these were my people. I'm still lifelong friends with many former colleagues from across Lucasfilm. The people were down to earth and willing to help, and we had the same passions. When we get back together, it's like nothing's changed. Okay. Well, admittedly, that was not as much focused on the hilt as I thought it would be, but I think that was still a very, very interesting read. What do you think, John?
Yeah.
What would you say? See, that is not at all the reason that I had heard before that this is curved. I thought that it was because Christopher Lee himself had requested it, because being that he is traditionally a fencer, he's done a lot, and I mean a lot, of sword fighting scenes in movies. In fact, I believe he has the Guinness World Record for the most amount of sword fighting scenes ever in movies. And primarily that's done with a fencing sword. In fact, you know what? I'm actually going to pull up a quick clip of that. He talks about this himself. Let me find it up. Here it is. I might have shown this once before on stream, but I can't remember, so we're gonna look at this again. But this is him breaking down how he goes about sword fights. So let me pull this up.
I've actually done more sword fights on film, I think, than anyone ever has.
That's one of his old movies, I think the Three Musketeers, and he's the guy in red.
Now this, as you see, is a sword. It's not an ordinary sword by any manner of means. It's a 17th century rapier. It's not a delicate little piece which you just thrust at someone with nimble footwork. It's a lethal killing weapon. I don't think I've done a single sword fight with an actor in which I haven't been carved up. And I've done a great many with stuntmen. And
Charlie says his eyebrows, though. That is true.
Scratch. However, in The Three and the Four Musketeers, we used these swords. It is not only very long, it is also extremely heavy. We were working in Spain in the summer, temperatures over 100 degrees. I was wearing very heavy period clothes and a wig, and one eye, a patch over this left eye, so I couldn't see anything coming from that side, which didn't make it any easier. And also I was wearing high heels because that was the period, fashion of the period, and very uneven ground. So you can imagine one had to be very, very careful. I think all of us got hit, knocked about in one way or another. Oliver Reed got stabbed through the wrist, but I tore these ligaments I referred to in the very first fight, and I had 4 more to do. Now, the most important thing about a sword fight,
okay, this part's important,
getting it right, obviously, is to make it look as if you
real quick, Michael's in here now. What's up?
Nothing much. Just had to take care of a few things, as well as I think my computer was going through some updates, and that's just about it.
Okay.
Yeah, my computer was being stupid today.
Well, we were just sort of killing time waiting for you, and we had just gone over an article, by the way, talking about, since tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones' release in theaters, we were going over an article in StarWars.com talking about how this one art designer who had immigrated from the Philippines, had a lot to do with why Dooku's hilt looks the way that it does, all curved like this. Basically,
Can I
Yeah.
make an inside joke?
the short version basically is that he collects swords himself, real life, Chinese, Japanese, and Filipino swords, and he had shown George Lucas one of these Filipino swords that had a curved hilt, and George Lucas liked the idea of having a curved hilt lightsaber in the movie, and so that's what they went with, which is not at all, by the way, what I thought that these origins were. I thought,
Yeah.
and the reason I'm playing this clip is that Christopher Lee himself had requested this because naturally he's a fencer and wanted something that's a little bit more fencing friendly, which this kind of is. And then we've just been watching this clip, and we're about to get into the most important part as to why I say that.
Tend to kill the other person and as quickly as possible. So there's none of this business of just extending your arm like that, extending your arm, going forwards, going backwards, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, or whatever it might be. You have to lunge, you have to spring, you have to go, like that, or like that. You've got to extend. In other words, it's got to look like a tremendously big movement. I'm talking about this kind of fencing. I'm not talking about fighting with a double-handed sword or with an axe or something where you're doing this and chopping and so on. But it's an extension of your arm, but you've got to use the rest of your body as well. Now, this sword weighs a ton, and we all got pretty tired, I tell you.
So, having seen that clip and seen how he demonstrate the way that he would lunge out with the sword, that's why I had said that I always thought that Christopher Lee himself requested a curved hilt like this one so that he could, because think about it, holding it like I am now, this is a natural thrusting sort of way to hold it. What's so funny, Michael?
Well, nothing. Just something.
Come on, say it.
Was saying, but just got your group chat.
All right, I'm
and I
checking
made a
it.
joke about it.
Okay.
But anyways, back on topic. I also think that the reason why the curved hilt even became a thing was that, if memory serves correctly, isn't Christopher Lee like a direct descendant to Charlemagne?
Yes, he
from
is.
the Holy Roman Empire. And if you pulled up a picture, the very same type of sword, or saber, I should say, that Charlemagne had at the time was curved, and it had a curved handle. So that's part of the reason why you see that.
Well, hold on a second. I just here it. Okay, here it is. Here. Okay, this is a.
Yeah.
This is it. This is probably the best picture of it I could find. Let me pull this up. It's not a big picture, but it proves the point enough, right?
Yeah, like, you can't really see it super well because it's a small image, but you get the idea. It's a curved hilt.
It is.
As opposed to something that's linear and is traditional.
So yeah. Oh, and by the way, Michael, since we were talking about that, you see those warriors from Hammerfell? They've got curved swords.
Yeah.
Curved swords.
Yeah.
And Phil McCracken said Charlemagne had the spear of destiny. I believe you. Phil McCracken says justice for curved swords. If I ever do another character from Skyrim, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use those scimitars because I think those look cool. All right, so let's get back to what we were originally talking about. Now, I had already read while I was waiting for you the article talking about the sequel title, rumored at least, to Jedi Fallen Order 2. So I'll just sum it up right now. We had looked at an article from Direct, talking
Yeah.
about how the rumored title for Jedi Fallen Order 2 is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. John, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah.
You need like a cough drop or something?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay. So yeah, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It's rumored to come out sometime in late 2023, and that the game is set to be revealed sometime around this month, which, by the way, this month is Star Wars Celebration. And it's possible that because it's called Star Wars Jedi Survivor, we may see other Jedi survivors, and they made sure to mention Obi-Wan and Ahsoka as possible people we
Yeah.
might meet. So tie that into what Echo Base Network was talking about last night, where they were sort of speculating, what if Obi-Wan Kenobi is the playable character of Star Wars Jedi Survivor? Because in an interview that Ewan McGregor had done this past week or so in London, he had mentioned how,
Mhm.
I can't remember what his exact quote, but it was something to the effect of, it's cool how the Star Wars universe runs through not just the movies, but the comic books, and he specifically mentions the video games.
Yeah.
So, personally, I don't see it happening, but what would you think if we did get Star Wars Jedi Survivor and, oh my goodness, we're playing as Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Well, it would definitely serve as a pretty big surprise, just because we're all expecting to play as Cal Kestis.
Mm-hmm. I
So
mean,
if
I
nothing
will.
else, there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be upset. If anything, I will be happy to play as Obi-Wan Kenobi if that is indeed what's going to happen. I don't think it's very likely, though. I think it's going to be. I think, if anything, what's most likely going to happen, if Kenobi's going to be in this game at all, we're going to play as Cal Kestis, but meet Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking is going to happen, because really the ending of the first Jedi Fallen Order was pretty much open-ended. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it can
And
be
they
left
mentioned
up
that.
to however.
And they mentioned that too in the article, that it's possible that certain things could happen in the plot of the second game, where the original goal that Cal and Sarah had of finding these young Force-sensitive children, that could be their mission again, but this time to keep them safe from the Emperor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or at least be a little bit more discreet about it, because
Mm-hmm.
a holocron's going to stick out like a sore thumb.
Yes. And one other thing that they mentioned, which I believe would affect especially you and John more directly, is that it's rumored that this will not be coming to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, only PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. Now, you obviously have your gaming laptop, which is what you're streaming off of now. I would be
And I also
surprised.
have a Series S.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay, never mind. Never mind then about that.
Well, it would affect
So if
me.
anything, it would.
Yeah, it would affect you, John, for sure. All right, so yeah, that's Jedi Fallen Order 2. Is there anything you wanted to mention about it, Michael, that I missed?
Well, I would say the bar is pretty set high, just because you see how well Jedi Fallen Order was received when it wasn't
Absolutely.
intentionally when it wasn't even prepared for all that positive feedback.
Exactly. And I firmly believe that even though it's only been out since 2019, for me personally at least,
Mm-hmm.
it's in my top 3 favorite Star Wars games of all time.
Yeah. Just one other thing that I want to bring up, and this kind
Mm-hmm.
of goes in tie with another video game that is unrelated to Star Wars, but it's on my mind right now, where I don't know if some of you have been seeing this, but you probably saw different trailers for the upcoming Gotham Knights game,
Oh,
where
yes.
some people have been saying that's been a pretty big downgrade from Batman Arkham Knight.
Question, is the same
And
people making it that made the Arkham series?
yes and no. It's not Rocksteady. It's actually WB Games Montreal. And those are the people
Okay.
responsible for making Arkham Origins.
Which is an underrated Batman game. Seriously, more people need to play that game.
John, go to bed.
Not yet.
But seriously, John, do something. At very least, get some water for yourself.
All right.
He's dehydrated.
Yeah, hydrate or die.
Oh.
All right.
But anyways, if I can find a good enough picture of it, I'm trying to find a picture of Cal Kestis just to show you the graphics here. I think I found one that's good enough. So
Okay.
the point I want to make right here is kind of like Gotham, kind of like the Batman Arkham series. From
Hello, by the way, to 6.
And Arkham Knight. This is what we got back in, what was it, 2019 when this game came out?
Yes.
And now we're like 3 years ahead of it.
Mm-hmm.
Where this is probably one of the best looking games that's really been on the market recently.
It has.
It's
Graphically,
probably
especially.
one of the most realistic. Yes.
I first played this. Oh, go ahead.
And so it's going to be really hard to top this sort of game just because they brought in different elements from like Tomb Raider and all other games. And
Yes.
so obviously with the sequel, we want something new, but then again, we don't want something that's going to completely change the game and make it somewhat unrecognizable.
You're right, absolutely. But speaking of the graphics, I just wanted to share something a little bit extra with it. I first played Jedi Fallen Order on the Xbox One, the original Xbox One, before the Slim or the Xbox One X came out. And it looked good, and it looked good in its own right on that system. But then when I got my Series S, it looked that much better. And now playing it on a PC, even more so.
Yeah. And even though the Series S isn't as good as like the Xbox Series X or like the PlayStation 5, it still looks pretty good compared to the Xbox One models.
Right. Which, by the way, do you still have the copy of it? Do you still have the copy of it that I installed on your PS4?
Yes, I do actually.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. Which, like I said, it's one of the best looking games graphically speaking. If anything, it's almost comparable to real life, as if I were looking at someone right now. It's that
absolutely
good.
Yeah. That and the gameplay, specifically the combat, is perfect in my opinion.
Yeah. Now, if you haven't seen the new Gotham Knights gameplay trailer, basically all you need to know is that it's not comparable to that of the Arkham series, like at all. If anything, I heard this already, I forget where I heard it from, but it's supposedly a little bit more like Spider-Man from the PS4, but even then, it's really slow.
No.
I mean, personally, I like the Spider-Man combats just because of the way it flows, but of course, you have to know what you're doing. But compare that to Batman Arkham Knights that released back in like 2016, right?
2015.
2015. And it probably looks just as good of a game as Jedi Fallen Order for a much older game.
And plays as good
Arkham
too.
Knight. Yeah, and Arkham Knight, not only that, was like the sheer perfection of the way that the combat flowed that Rocksteady originally he developed in Arkham Asylum, where it seems like as Rocksteady and WB Games Montreal made their games, because we're adding in Arkham Origins too,
Yes.
it's like the combat slowly got better.
Which, speaking on Gotham Knights, I happen to know also that game's going to be multiplayer during the campaign, which, if you get it on PC, I get it on PC, we'll be able to stream it together.
Yeah, I hope to do that. At least I hope that we're able to do it multiplayer, because I don't really know if they really specified how multiplayer is going to work, but I guess we're just going to have to buy the game and find out.
Mm-hmm. By the way, John, you feeling better now?
Yeah.
Okay. If excuse me, if you do need to cough like that again, please mute first, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so now let's get into the real reason why we are here, and that is we are taking a second look at Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and we're doing this because, Michael, you just saw it for the first time. So pretty much...
I did, yes.
Yeah, so pretty much I'm handing the reins of the stream over to you. We can talk about whatever you... Basically, you dictate the conversation now.
Well, where do I begin, really? It's just... I did not at first expect anything from the Sonic series. Not just because that it was a video game movie, and you know how video game movies are 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But at first, I knew I had to see the first one, so I don't know if I've talked about the first one yet. But
if you haven't, feel free to.
But so far as the first one goes, I overall enjoyed it. Where it definitely was different, and it wasn't just like your typical video game movie. It actually was good. PJ, change your profile picture. Oh wait, he's gone.
He said BRB.
Yeah. Everyone in the comments, please make a comment on his profile picture, because it's no bueno, in my opinion.
I told chat to rickroll it when he got back, but none of them did it.
No, we're not like that, John. We're better. We're more civilized. But anyways, even though that Sonic 2 pretty much won, even though that Sonic 1 pretty much went its own direction, it still felt like a Sonic game, a Sonic movie, and something that would be made by Sega. Sonic 2, on the other hand, I feel like really hammered down on the source material, where you can clearly see Robotnik getting his mustache, being bald, and also finding of the Master Emerald or the Chaos Emeralds, whatever you want to call it.
Technically,
like, I feel like
both.
Well, don't interrupt me. I will smoke you over camera.
Charlie said, I am not going to sleep now. Probably talking about my funny little avatar here. Did you notice that, Michael?
Yes, it's ugly.
You can thank Lord Crit for that, but it could be worse. It could be this one.
Ew! That is hurting me so much.
Jonathan.
If you want to know why I have this, just watch last week's Tuesday Night Trek. So let me fix it back for real.
Jonathan.
What?
Drop.
John, don't do it. We're still streaming.
I know. I'll drop later.
So safe to say you like the first Sonic movie, right, Michael?
Yes. Which I think that they decided to go in pretty much their own direction and just make a movie that just so happened to be about Sonic, and not try to make a one-to-one copy and paste of the first Sonic game to make it into a movie, which is really the only thing that they could have done. And also, I feel like that the redesign was what saved the movie, which is actually probably why I like this movie, because the fans more or less saved the movie by saying, this isn't good, you need to fix it.
I'm pulling it up now.
Do it.
Shield your eyes if you don't want to see this, folks. On the left, that was the original design. And holy cow. It gets worse every
Which
time.
It would have been interesting, to say the least, to have the original design. But
if YouTube had removed
there's no way that this movie would have been so successful if it did.
Yeah.
Well, if YouTube had removed dislikes 2 years ago, this would have happened.
Yeah.
Charlie says, I feel like the old design was just for marketing. I don't see how.
Maybe.
I do not see how.
Maybe not.
All right, take that.
But anyways, with that being said, PJ, I said that Sonic 1 just made a whole unique direction, whereas Sonic 2, on the other hand, they went directly to the source material.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of trying to do something that was super unique, but at the same time, they gave themselves just enough wiggle room to actually make a movie, with also providing the right amount of source material, where we finally get to see Robotnik in his classic mustache that live action could provide, just because I think his mustache would have been twice as long if they had tried to CGI it or something.
Something like that.
And we also see a bunch of Easter eggs in there too, where we finally get to see a fat Eggman in one scene, as well as what looks like a Megamind suit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that movie, but
It's
maybe
been
another day.
forever.
As well as the fact that in the beginning, where we see Knuckles go through the ring, we hear Robotnik saying that he can show him the way. And even though that Knuckles did not say it verbatim, it was still enough.
It was.
I'm happy that they didn't have him say
By
it.
the way, hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Shoot. Hold on. Where is it? I'm trying to find a picture. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bring up this picture since you brought up that meme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have actually never seen that picture. I've only seen like the cartoon version of it and the original VR meme.
Right.
But also, I believe that this actually competed well with a lot of versus movies, where one selling point that I would say about Sonic 2 is the fact that we get to see Knuckles and Sonic fight each other.
Yes.
Where
Absolutely.
this completely blows Batman's versus Superman out of the water. I would also say it also does a better job of Venom versus Carnage, which I already talked about in another video, but I said what I said.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, when they were coming together, it was done right.
It was.
Everything about this movie was done right. And I forget where I heard this from, but I heard that a good comparison of Sonic 2 would be like the Spider-Man 2 of video game movies, where
That's a new one for
I
me.
had where I had expectations just based on what I heard that Sonic 2 would be like Terminator 2, just better than the original.
It 100% is for me,
But-
at least.
But it definitely was that it. It was that good.
Yes. Real quick, Leia Rose says, I have actually never seen any of the Sonics. We'll have to watch the movie. Yes. Sonic, the first one, is currently on Paramount Plus. I believe in Walmart they're selling the DVD for it for I think $5. Right, John?
And if you don't,
I got
and
it
if
for
you don't feel like
15.
paying for Paramount Plus, it's also on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Or you could pirate it.
No,
Which we disavow.
We disavow that.
And Sonic 2 should be coming to Paramount Plus on May 20th.
yeah, hopefully.
No, May 27th. My bad. I'm getting my dates mixed up, but yeah. So yeah, what else about Sonic 2 stuck out to you, Michael?
Just the overall, well, also the fact that a lot of the scenes were funny, even though it didn't take away from the movie, where Knuckles in particular was funny, almost like how Drax is funny, where he's just kind of the musclehead who isn't necessarily dumb, but he just is not really aware of Earth's doings, you can say.
Yeah, like the whole
Where he's like,
dot.
yeah, like that was the funniest part.
It was.
As well as the facts where Knuckles was like talking to Robotnik, you really think that these robots can fight me? And he's like, oh, they're stairs.
Yes.
Just because you could tell that he was ready to throw some hands.
Absolutely. Now, one thing that kind of threw me off that I don't think I mentioned last time we talked about this, I didn't realize that Knuckles' gloves, spikes on
We're
the
actually
side,
boxing gloves.
are actually boxing gloves, and he lives in those. So why doesn't he have fingers he can use?
I don't know. I guess that design is just more true to his character, where Knuckles is obviously him having to punch a lot, so it would make sense for him to have boxing gloves, because I think boxing gloves are more protective than like those MMA gloves that you find.
Yes.
And the spikes also help with his wall climbing ability.
Yeah.
Right.
At least that's the way I see it. If someone actually knows about like MMA gloves or just boxing gloves, feel free to let us know. Because I was just making a guess.
Okay. So, so let me ask you this. Jim Carrey as Eggman in this movie. You already said they made him look pretty much like classic Eggman. But as far as how he acted, especially when he got taken over by the Master Emerald, what did you think of that?
Honestly, it was just Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey, where I think at first he seems to carry the movie, but not in like a bad way, just because obviously having a name as big as Jim Carrey, you know that the movie's going to be carried by him just because it's Jim Carrey. He's probably the biggest name on the billboard when advertising for this movie anyways.
Yeah.
Besides, well, people who aren't Sonic fans don't know who it is who's voicing Tails, which, fun fact, is actually the same girl who voices Tails in the games.
Nice. Which that actually brings me to my next thing. What did you think of how they did Tails in this movie, Michael?
I think they did pretty well. I think that Tails was kind of like the guy in the chair at first, but then very slowly starts becoming more of a field person. Which, in case you don't know, people who are like guys in the chair, I don't want to talk about right here.
Oh, Ned. Yes.
Yes. The guy
I
in the
got
chair.
you that.
Or as the army
know.
calls them, Pogues. I'm sure
I
you've
never
heard
heard
that
that.
one. You've not heard that one yet?
I have not.
Oh
No.
yeah, that's right.
All I've
You would
heard
have-
that's even remotely close to that would be Weekend Warrior.
Basically, a Pogue is person other than grunts, which basically means anyone that isn't infantry. So, by definition,
I am a Pogue. Because
yes,
I'm a 56 5 down in 11 Bravo.
yes, which is usually a derogatory term.
I'm hopping off.
See you later. I'm gonna pull this. Okay, Charlie is referencing a classic YouTube clip. I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
I feel like this relates to Sonic. When will you learn? Oh!
I gotta find. I gotta play it.
Oh!
I gotta do it. So apparently the full context. Apparently the full context of this clip is this kid is going off about something to do with Sonic the Hedgehog and how he's offended by how Sony and Nintendo have been handling it, which led to this absolute gem.
When will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
How did he
Then
not
Stance
forget
becomes
doing that?
whiny.
Who says he didn't?
I know, but still, that just does not. That's not natural.
I don't know, but the better version of that was when he was up there on presidential debate, because I think that was when Vine was getting some popular during like the 2016 election or something.
I'm gonna go get.
Maybe not
Get
Vine,
it.
but I know
Okay,
it was
John,
made
good
into
night.
a Vine.
Yes.
Where, let me see if I can find that real quick.
So, anyways,
But,
while you're finding that, we'll sort of. Charlie says, "I've seen the full video. I don't recommend it." Oh, you know I'm watching the full thing. Not on stream, but I'm gonna watch it, and then I'll tell you what I think of it.
yeah, anything else you want to know about my thoughts, BJ?
What did you think of the whole final battle? And by the way, hello to Sam in the background.
I believe that it was done well, just because of that is what happens when he gets the Chaos Emeralds or something. But I guess it felt weird when he got it, because they didn't find like each Chaos Emerald like they were finding the Infinity Stones. They just found one, and then they found all the others, which I guess somewhat makes sense, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like the only nitpick I can have with the movie.
Okay. Which that sounds like it just boils down to personal taste. You would have liked them to find the individual Chaos Emeralds instead of just the one altogether, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I can't find the movie. I can't find the video, but that's okay.
That's all right. Well, it sounds like you touched on pretty much all the bases. Actually, I do have one thing I wanted to ask you. So our friend Lord Critz, he has seen this movie. He likes it also, but he says that in his opinion, the weakest part of the movie is everything to do with the wedding in Hawaii. What's your thoughts on that?
I kind of see it. I kind of see what he means by that, just because in that moment when he gets freed, Sonic conveniently is like on the other side of the horizon from where the island was.
Charlie says my favorite part was when Batman saved Dr. Robotnik. Oh, and that wasn't even the most shocking part. We also found out that Luke was Vader's father.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
But
also think it was the weakest part, but in a movie
it wasn't a bad part.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, just something has to be the weaker part. And it's still connected.
Yeah. Yeah. But I want to say probably the most interesting detail of the entire Kirby movie was the actual copy and paste of gameplay that we see in the games, where we do see Sonic going through a water temple towards wherever the final boss is, and we do see him actually breathe in bubbles for air. Like, you see that in the actual game.
You do. And they heavily allude to the fact that Sonic cannot swim, which he can't in the game. He just sinks down to the bottom and just kind of walks along the floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then everything to do with the giant robots' attacks, that's like straight out of a video game right there.
Yeah. And of course, the fact that the mustache itself smashed like that.
Yes. Now, one last thing to talk about before we get off of here, and that is the end credit scene. So, we'll just say it. How they Shadow the Hedgehog and how they revealed him. What did you think of that? And how do you think he's going to play into movie number 3, which they have confirmed, by the way?
I would say that personally, I do not know a lot about him, other than he's basically the anti-Sonic, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But I am excited to see this because obviously he's a very big deal. And that's really all I can say about it.
Okay. Yeah, I was excited too. Admittedly, I was thinking it was going to be Metal Sonic, but the fact that it's Shadow, I think, is also a good choice.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
so
who knows? Maybe we'll see him in the future.
we'll see. Oh, and don't forget also, we are getting a series about Knuckles on Paramount Plus soon.
I did not know that.
We are, yes. Let me look up when that's coming along. Series release dates. Okay, so they're saying sometime in 2023 is when we're gonna get that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and shut it down for the night. Anything else you want to say about anything that we talked about before we get out of here?
I can't think of anything at this time.
All right then. You know what? I think I got enough energy in me left for one more gaming stream tonight. So we're going to go ahead and transition over to that. Michael, if you're on Discord, you're welcome to chat with us over there if you want to, but if not, you have a good night.
Yeah.
And for everyone else watching,
I got some work to do, so.
Oh, okay. By the way, what was that you were fiddling with earlier, that black rod thing?
Oh, just a battery charger.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Well, anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, everyone, the Force is family. See you guys later.